What's going on, guys? Spencer Claeys here, and today I have an actual podcast for you guys. Some just morning thoughts. It's Saturday morning. I got a cup of coffee. Just got done with the gym, so just kind of, talk about some things that have been on my mind. And in the past, I really enjoyed shorter form podcasts where you're just kind of talking, answering questions, and that whole sort of thing. So with that, let's just dive into kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I've been listening to a lot of the neuro-linguistic programmers and like the hypnosis, the subconscious guys. But it's really interesting, and I was just at the gym, so I was thinking about it as I was lifting weights. I was maxing out on like squat and bench press, still doing some pretty good numbers, able to rep out 315 on both of those. And so that's always fun. But the biggest thing that I took away from like the hypnosis and stuff is it's just talking to your subconscious brain. Like people get too like weirdy with it, but it's like, and you can definitely do some weird stuff with it. But if like I take away from it that you can actually hypnotize yourself. You can put yourself into these what they call them peak states. And being done with the gym is a great example of a peak state. You are in like. We are so influenced by our own physiology. And I know this may be coming out of left field, but this all ties really back into like success, confidence, making money, all the sort of stuff that we like to talk about on this channel. But yeah, it starts with having your physiology like in tune. So lifting weights, being strong, healthy, like you would not believe how much of an impact and influence that has on pretty much everything else in life. Because when you are more confident, you're going to be able to dictate what is going on in any situation. You're going to be able to lead people. If you're quoting a job is really my main example. Like I just talked about on my like Instagram story, I was like, oh, you could go up to a job and be like, oh yeah, so I could do it for $50, or you could go up and be like, yeah, it's $500 when you want to get started. Like you can definitely just see the difference between the tonality and the confidence. And one thing that Tate talked about, which I thought was interesting too, is he talked about lots about body language as well. But he brought up an interesting point, and because we all know like the pickup artists and stuff, they really manipulate their own body language and tonality, and they kind of work on the insecurities of a woman, and they really project themselves to be a higher value man than they actually are. So they do this with a couple like subtle shifts and stuff. And like Tate was saying, you can kind of mimic that. You can kind of like play into like the tonality and the body posture and the body language of a confident person, but it's really hard to fake. Like the NLP guys will say your subconscious brain takes up like 99% of your processing power is your subconscious. So your conscious brain is barely even a percentage. So like you trying to influence your body language, your subconscious brain is very hard. It's just easier to go out, lift some weights, and be a confident man. Like that's really what it comes down to. And with that being said, testosterone plays a huge role in your confidence. Like if you're just higher test, you're going to be more confident. And that one of the biggest things is lifting weights, eating right, being healthy, having lots of good sex, and all that sort of stuff. Like if you're in your basement jacking off, doing like drinking alcohol and stuff, like you're not going to be as confident. You're not going to have as much fun. You're not going to just be able to make as much money in life, I believe, as if you were more confident doing those other sort of things. So, but again, this is all just my opinion. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass, drinking this excellent coffee right here. But yeah, so where were we? Talking about testosterone, confidence, the subconscious brain, all that sort of stuff. I really it's been fascinating to just kind of dive into that subject. But so if I was to tell anybody, start lifting weights, it's huge. It's going to give you so much more confidence. And then I know I've beaten that dead horse a lot, but another thing I just recently got back into is doing jiu-jitsu. And I've done this for off and on over the past few years. And it's something that I really enjoy. Jiu-jitsu is awesome. It's a great way to not only get a good workout, but you're learning how to choke people out and defend yourself. So it's super valuable. I remember the first day I finished with class a couple weeks ago, because I took about a year off. Like I was going at it for quite a bit, but then I took a whole year off, and then I went back. Now I'm doing that whole thing again. And the first day after, you stand a little taller, you walk a little bit more sturdier, you walk a little bit slower, you have that confidence. Probably going to say that like 50 times, but I won't belabor that point too much. But start training in a gym. learn your body. Like, it's super important. And not enough people really know their body. Like even if you go to the gym and you lift weights, like you kind of know it. You kind of know like, oh, I can lift this much. I'm strong. And that's cool. But if you don't really know like what my body does in this situation or under pressure or, locked in combat with another man, like you really don't learn that much about yourself just going about daily life. So that's why I really love like the whole kind of martial arts and fighting and stuff. It really teaches you a lot about yourself. So start training at a gym. Obviously still lift weights, One advice that I got from Gary Halbert in the Boron Letters, great book, where he writes to his son from prison. He was saying, just get big arms, work out, get big arms. And that's going to prevent like 99% of fights, because he was in prison. I think he had some, like, there was like a federal thing where they were doing some marketing thing, and the company went under, and he kind of got left out to hang because he was doing the marketing for it. So, but anyways, he was in prison. So he's like, hey, if you want to just avoid most fights, just get big. And, that's a really great point. And a side note, obviously I've never been to prison, but, I was reading this book, and they called it the bar fight principle. And this kind of ties back into prison with this other book that I read. It's called Pimpology. It's a really good book. It's the 48 Laws of the Game. It's written by an actual pimp. One of my favorite like business books of all time. And he talks about it there in prison as well, that the first person who throws a punch like wins the fight. Because if you're in prison or if you're in the bar, the security is going to drag you out within seconds anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Like you're not going to like die, that even if you're like in that situation. I'm not saying that we should go out and start punching people. I'm just saying, throwing that first punch or just doing something first in life, you're going to win, because like it doesn't really matter what else is going to happen. Like you took action. And so I don't really know where I was going with that whole example, but I thought that was kind of cool. It was kind of a different topic. So with that being said, let's dive into some questions that I've been getting a lot, because, if you guys want to ask me any questions, you can feel free to shoot me an email at spencer@spencerclaeys.com. I'm going to have the website up and running soon, and some more blog posts. There are actually blog posts up right now on my website, spencerclaeys.com. So if you want to go check those out. I need to be putting some more up. I just make so many videos, and the videos are so much easier to make for me, just kind of start talking or filming, because I'm already like doing the content. So I'm already doing stuff. And so that's my advice to anyone. Just find what you like to do. Find what's easy. Don't set a goal. Don't see what someone else is doing and be like, oh, like I want to be a blogger. I want to be a podcaster. I want to be a YouTuber. Find what works for you. Like you may be completely different. You might really enjoy writing. I enjoy writing, but it's easier for me to do videos. So that's why I do videos. That's why TikTok is really blowing up, because it's easy to film a TikTok. You just pull out your phone and you just start recording. And that's kind of why that's pretty cool. And YouTube has also gotten a little bit more. That's why it's just so much more competitive than it was 10 years ago. Because everyone has a phone now. Everyone can start having movie quality content. It's really changed the game. But back to the point, start filming content. I say this to a lot of people, and no one really takes it seriously. But content, like, is just going to be the future. Like, if you really spend time and build an audience, like, look what I've done this whole year. I pretty much didn't really have an audience at all before this year. Like, I posted on Instagram a little bit. I had my business going and stuff, and all that stuff was well and good. But now it's crazy once you have actually provided value to a certain number of people. And now it's like you guys, people who listening to this, like, you're not like, this is like quite a bit longer than like a 15-second TikTok. So you're spending a lot more time with someone. You're getting to know them a lot more. And like here, I feel like I can just provide a lot more value. So, let me know if you guys really like hearing this sort of like longer form content. We might have to make it a weekly thing, have a weekly podcast episode. But yeah, so type in your questions on, you can comment on any of the videos. If it's on TikTok, you're probably not going to see it. But if it's on a YouTube, like longer form video, there's a good chance that I'm going to see it, because there's not that many comments. So that being said, pulling up the video right now, get some coffee in. All right, first comment I see. Can women do this? From Cindy. Absolutely. So this is the most recent video I posted about how to start a roof and gutter cleaning company. And actually one of my private clients that bought one of my courses, the God Tier marketing package, she actually, she's down in, actually, I don't know if I should say where, but she's down in the southern part of the States, and she has a like solar panel cleaning and pigeon poop cleaning and pigeon poop or pigeon preventing like company. It's really crazy. The pigeons go up under solar panels and they poop everywhere, and it's a big pain. So she puts the wire mesh up in front of the panels, and it's minimum $500 a job. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So of course, like, women can definitely do it. I would say, make sure you're safe up there on the roof. Like, it's definitely not something that like I've seen many women in my life be comfortable like in heights, but that's really up to you. So, and then the Southern Skunk says, would you mind making a video about how you set up your business as far as setting up an LLC? How do you do taxes, bank accounts, what apps use to book customers, send invoices? That would be awesome. I don't see those type of videos anywhere. That is a great question. Really well worded. So the biggest thing that I've seen, I talk a little bit about this in my new book, The Official Roof and Gutter Cleaning Business Blueprint, that just came out. But as far as LLC goes, definitely have an LLC. I think I started with a sole proprietor, but the reason you don't see a lot of videos about it is, a lot of people are kind of flying under the radar, and their stuff isn't super legit. But for me, I have an LLC. You need to get the insurance, the general liability insurance, follow your state mandates. Also, it's just kind of boring to talk about. I know if I make a video about like, oh, the best LLC or the best insurance and stuff, like, people they're not going to really want to watch that. I use Next Insurance. I might be switching though, because I might need to start hiring people. So I want to have something where I can, expand a little bit better. But I'm not going to give you like too much financial advice there. And what apps to send invoices. So I do, I obviously do cash when I can, but Zelle is great, PayPal, Venmo. And also I use Stripe for any invoices. I can just send those pretty easily. Stripe is pretty awesome. You can just like pull it up right there, and they take a little bit of a cut. So that's why, other methods are preferred. But, check, obviously, cash, all this sort of things. Bank accounts, I don't really mess with it too much. I just kind of keep a folder. I keep track of it on an Excel spreadsheet of all the jobs that I do. So, when you're paying your taxes, because you have to pay taxes every quarter in my area, state. That's another thing. I don't really know what other people have in other states. So I'm not going to be like, oh, this is what you need for this business. But, great question. And we talked a little bit about it there. So Brady James Crabell says, that's it. Been following you for a few weeks. Already have the stuff. Pressure washer, brush, broom, electric leaf blower, ladder. Gonna need a bigger ladder. Even have rock climbing gear. Only question is, how do I get leads without footage or any leads? I do my own, blah, blah. Should I just start knocking doors in my neighborhood that look gnarly? Yeah, that's a pretty great way to do it. Knocking doors on gnarly looking roofs is a great way to get started. That's how I got started. I was knocking doors. I was doing driveways at the time. You guys probably heard this story. But, I was doing driveways, and the lady was like, oh, no, I don't really want my driveway done. But do you guys do roofs? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I could do roofs. Even though I'd never done a roof. But she's like, okay, yeah, how much? And I was like, I looked online quickly. I was like, $400. And she's like, okay, yeah. So I went out, did the job. I was, YouTubing the whole time how to do it. And then obviously, I got that job took me all day. But I've gotten way better at it now. That was years ago. So like there's really no secret to it. Like I posted some videos recently this week where I was talking about there's no excuse to be broke in America. And I mean that, like, so many people like agreed with it, which was awesome. But there's definitely a few people that are always going to be like, oh, but where do you get money for the tools? And like, dude, you need a fucking brush, a ladder, and a leaf blower. That's it. And that stuff maximum. If you go on OfferUp, you can find all that shit for like less than $300. You can find it used. You can buy it new for like a new ladder. Like the new ladder that I have is like $300. The nice leaf blower is like $250, and then a brush is like $30 for the head and the broom. So, I mean, whatever that is, like if you want to get the nice stuff, you could be looking at $500 or $600 to start a business. Like, you can't find $500 to start a business. Come on. And it's if you do a $500 roof, it's going to be paid for in the first roof anyways. So I know this kind of took a different turn than how we originally started with talking about NLP and hypnosis, but I'm kind of having fun. And so yeah, like, keep asking questions, guys. Let's see, we got a few more though, so we haven't gone on for that long. I'm using GarageBand to record this, and we're at 445 seconds, I think, or something like that. So I don't really know how long that is. I do not like to do math in public, but Let's see. Dan754 says, love it, brother. When I get my truck soon, after I get rid of my Ford Focus that keeps breaking down, I'm going to start something. You are just another person who inspires me to do it. Awesome. Love getting those comments. Yeah, and that brings me to another thing, like the Ford Focus. I remember when I first started my jobs, like I was literally doing it with my Toyota Corolla. Like I threw the pressure washer in the front seat or the back seat, I remember. And then threw the tank, the soft wash tank in the trunk, the ladder rack on top. I was literally carrying a 32-foot ladder on my Toyota fucking Corolla. And I was still booking jobs, still making money. But obviously I only did that for like a month or two because, as you've seen, you can make money extremely fast here. So I mean, when you're making $500 a day, there's no reason why you shouldn't go out. I went out and I immediately bought a Chevy Colorado 2008. It was a little pickup truck. I bought it for like $3,000 cash, and that thing was an awesome little truck. But it literally only lasted me like, I think like 8 months before it broke down. But then then I had to go back to the Toyota Corolla. So I literally had to use that again. But I still did the jobs. You know, people don't really care. They care about the result you can provide. I love talking about this subject because so many people have excuses for this and that, but people don't really care. Because like, imagine, like, let's say something really bad happened to you, like God forbid, you know, you got cancer or you broke your arm or something bad happened, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor, you don't ask the doctor, where'd you go to medical school, like where'd you do this, like how do you do this, like if they're like, I can 100% cure this, I can do this, like 100%, you wouldn't even care. Like, even if it was some like maybe not like super legit practice, if you knew without a doubt, like this person could cure your cancer 100%, they could be 12 years old. It wouldn't really matter. You would pay them for the result. Like, so focus on the result you can provide. That doesn't, like, I mean, the cancer is obviously not what we're talking about here. We're talking about roofs, but, yeah, this coffee's good, but okay, so we got some more questions. Alex M. So I live in the Pacific Northwest. Been doing what you're doing, but without a license. I finally got around to taking the CCB test. Now ready to get the business going. What insurance is good? Okay, we already talked about this. Yeah, we already talked about that. Conspiracy Roof and Gutter Cleaning. That's an interesting name. Thanks for helping me gain the balls to obtain my own freedom. Yes, sir. That is the big driving force behind all of this shit. Like, it is freedom. Because a huge thing in life is freedom versus security. So many people trade their security for freedom, and I traded my security for freedom. Most people trade their freedom for security. You know, that's a job. Any sort of, like, for me, I've seen it way too much in the military. People it's very secure. You know, you have everything's paid for. You're making a decent salary. You're getting your healthcare, but you have zero freedom. It's basically like 2 steps above prison. So that's why, actually, it's pretty funny. My old recruiter from the Navy reached out to me. She's like, "Oh, like, are you gonna go come back in?" I was like, "Fuck no! Like, why would I do that? Like, I'm so free. I wake up whenever I want to. I make as much money as I want to every single day. I can work if I want to, or if I don't want to, and I don't get yelled at by anybody, making 3 times more money than I would in the Navy." So I was like, it is really insane. So that, like, guys, just having the balls, and like we talked about earlier, the confidence to do it is huge. Like, when you have the confidence in life, you can really do anything, and you just have to be comfortable with trading a little bit of your security for freedom. So for me, I have no security, like, right now, because I have all my freedom. You know, if I'm like, let's see, how can I better explain this? Like, maximum, like, full security would be a maximum security prison. You know, you don't have anything to worry about. I mean, obviously, besides safety, you're in prison, but on a basic level, you have your 3 meals, you have a roof over your head, right? That's maximum security. Maximum freedom would be being homeless. You could live on the beach. You know, you could have 0 responsibilities. So look at those 2 extremes, and then that's kind of where we want to find, like, a balance between those, obviously. But, you know, the most successful people in life, they really had to cast off their safety net. And sorry, my dog is freaking out. All right, now he says he's going to be quiet. So where were we? Okay, some more questions. Some guy asked, how much would you charge for a job like that? And then, of course, I say that in the video. Do you sometimes soft wash it then powder it, or do you one or the other? Yeah, that's a great question from Fantasy Champs. I pretty much, I always approach the customer as I would want someone to approach me. I give them the options that I think they should do. I usually give them 1, 2, or 3 options, but I always kind of, I'm like, okay, this roof is fucked. You're going to need this, and that. Or, this roof is fucked. Like, I don't even recommend, like, cleaning this that much. Like, it's so old. We can't really do anything here. Like, that's one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of people have when they see me up there, like, scrubbing a roof. And they think, oh, you're damaging the roof. And, like, that's the biggest annoying comment that I get, because people don't really know what I'm doing. You're knocking the moss off. You're not like scrubbing the shit out of it with like a wire brush. You're just kind of more just brushing gently off the moss. And like, if you've seen up here in the Pacific Northwest, like there's just so much moss. Like, it's pretty much impossible to get off unless you're brushing it off. Like, you can treat it all day long. You can soft wash it. You can put the powder on, but it's really not going to come off. Like, trust me. Like, I've tried many different things, but like, this is the best way. So anyways, guys, that is pretty much all the questions on this video. Let me know what you guys think, and obviously ask me more questions in this. I'll probably, we might put this on Spotify, but obviously, if you're seeing this on YouTube, leave a comment below, ask any questions you want. We can talk about anything, whether it's, money, success, like women, confidence, in the gym. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, have a great week, and I will see you guys soon.